suppose on the last album we spent quite a lot of time just all together down here, coming up with the ideas all together, whereas this one we kind of spent maybe a bit of time apart, coming up with ideas separately and then all coming together, and it was really good as well on this one, wasn't it, because we had all our gear set up in there, and so we'd just be able to kind of go between the studio in here and our gear in there, didn't we? And just go, let's try check that works live, and then let's put it down demo wise, let's check that works live.
We kind of spent time coming up with our own ideas initially, and then all having a go at each other's ideas when we got down it until the best ones came out.
Did you just say all having a go at each other's ideas?
Yeah. Well, that's basically what happened, didn't it?
And Victor came down here, didn't he, for a couple of weeks, and we played over all the songs that we had and just kind of refined and just working out our basic parts. Yeah. Then we were ready to go in the studio and put everything down properly.
We found this great little studio called Heliocentric, which was out in the countryside in East Sussex. We went to look at it one day, and it's just a great vibe, really. It's just like a kind of converted barn, almost like a glorified home studio. And it kind of reminded us of somewhere where we did the sort of the demos that we got signed off of, didn't it?
West Side,
West Side,
stuff like that.
And, yeah. It just wasn't like too slick a place. Had a load of toys to play with, loads of amps for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About 33 Hammond organs.
Yeah, loads.
But a great sounding desk, which is one of the main things.
And
really
horses in the garden.
Yeah.
And horses in the garden.
And
really, really, really good food.
Which is all vital, of course.
Yeah.
For a good album. Generally, our demos, like I said, are done to a fairly good standard, or not a good standard, but our ideas are pretty well thought through. But having Victor around just to sit down here and go through our ideas and not necessarily argue with us, but just bring a different point of view and a different perspective was really helpful. And all of the basics, like all of the basic piano, guitar, drums, all those bass, all those parts, apart from me, who obviously mine was fine. No, all the basic parts, it just pushed us all to make sure they were as good as they can be and much more musical, which from the last album it was a bit more kind of, we were just doing what we do, and he pushed us to try and think more musically about the songs and about the way we wrote, which for this album I think has added a lot to it.
The third step, when we did the strings, when we went into Abbey Road, and then we had the choir come in and do everything on If I Found Out, did the outro, and If I Found Out, and that was just really good fun, because it feels like you've kind of completed everything that you've done, but then this whole other kind of angle and finish is just put on it. Which is just absolutely amazing, sitting there in Abbey Road and just listening to like 25-piece orchestra play your songs.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. The history in those walls as well, and just you think of all the things that have been recorded there, and then it's almost like that, all the soul that's like in that building, and in all those violins and everything. I just get really,
that was amazing.
Just like there's been putting down on your record, and kind of made me feel really emotional just listening to all that and just thinking of all the soul just there.
I want to say something about Tim, who has come into his own, I feel. He's bought this huge thing, which is basically a patch bay. Which, if you don't know what that means, that's like you get lots of different sound generators and oscillators and filters, and then you basically, from scratch, from having nothing, build a sound. So you have to kind of understand what sort of wave it is, what you want to do to generate certain sorts of sounds. And Tim, this album's starting to become a genius at it.
It's just richer, isn't it? I think everything is richer, and the keyboards are richer. They're not so cheap anymore.
That's why they're all stacked up there.
This is why all the cheap
We've left the
keyboards
cheap ones there.
were left down here when we went into the studio in Rye. And Steve hiring in big gongs and huge drums and stuff.
Yeah.
Just going, actually, we should try that. I think it's taken us about a year since we first started this album, hasn't it?
Since we
just
started
under a year.
writing, yeah.
Since we started writing to the point where we finished mixing in New York, it's about a year. And it was hard work, you know, but.
We had no fun.
We had absolutely no fun at all.
It's just really hard work.
And in all seriousness, though, it is hard work, but we wouldn't want to be doing anything else. Like, we're in a really fortunate position. We're in a band doing what we love, and I don't think there's much else that I could do for like 18 hours a day. I used to sit in the studio and play music for 18 hours a day, and actually you really enjoy it, you know. I mean, maybe after three or 4 months just being in the studio for that long, you need a bit of a break, but
yeah. On the whole, this album's been a lot more fun to make.
We've been there 10 times before. Make it up as we go along. We're in so deep it can't be wrong.
the last album, Vehicles and Animals, I think we all feel was a really good album in its own right, and for that time, that was a really good album. But you know, I think obviously for all of us now, being creative people and being artists, you know, you always move on, and so this is our favourite thing that we've done at the moment, and this is the best thing that we could have done at this point, we feel. I think, you know, we're really happy with Tourist.
I agree.
Yeah, it's good.